The Weekly starts now.
So this is a tool we use to help clients make selections remotely. So this is somebody that's not comfortable coming into a showroom environment and being around other people, but they want to continue to move their project along. So what we've done is we reached out to a bunch of our local vendors, suppliers, alliance partners, that sort of stuff, and asked for their help. And with their help, we have gathered a bunch of samples that they're giveaways. They're not something we have to keep like in the showroom. You know, we want to make sure all that stuff is here. Some examples of that are just, I grabbed a box, and you can see there's just a bunch of different materials in here, and they're cut down. This is countertop surfaces from Silestone. Pretty popular stuff right now. So we have a bunch of these around, and you can see the size is enough that you can get a slab. You don't just get a tiny little piece of it and can't really get a sense of that. So we've gathered a bunch of that stuff. We've gathered a bunch of different cabinet fillers that were tall, and we just have them cut down into 6-inch lengths. So again, you get a sense of color, especially important with a stained finish. So you can see the stain on the wood, how much grain is going to show, that sort of thing. But also important to have paint so a client can see it in their lighting and all the rest, how it's going to look. And then this isn't a real one, but just sort of a representative example of some of the things we might send to a client. Some tile, perhaps, some wood species samples, colors, some of the countertops, maybe even some of the finishes of bath fittings, faucets, that sort of stuff. These are from Kohler, so we can send these out, and they're metal, so it really represents what the finish is going to be like. Some of the times, it's printed and it's just not quite the same. Some tile, some paint samples that might work. And then another thing we've sort of put together is just these little cards of this case, it's some faucets. So you can see what that might be, just some different samples of something that maybe a designer's pulled together. They put it on the little chain here, and we deliver that as well, because you can't put a faucet in the box, it's just not practical. So just that kind of stuff we might include. If we were using LVT somewhere, we might include some of that. Again, local vendors have been great about getting us that sort of thing. Not all countertop manufacturers have stuff in this, have samples that thin. So sometimes we have to use something a little more, thicker, heavier. This is Caesar stone, but still not impractical. It's not too heavy. You don't want the box to be so heavy that you can't use it. So that's kind of sort of what we would be putting in here. And again, we figured out what size we wanted and had these printed off of the internet, just kind of poked around till we found somebody that makes custom boxes. We specified, photos, everything that goes on here. And then, you just put stuff in the box. But we wanted to be a little nicer than just a cardboard box. And again, kind of experiential, make that client feel like they were getting something special and not just a delivery from Amazon. Not that can't be special. But anyway, just something a little more than that. So that's kind of it. Again, a client has already expressed interest in a project. We've spent at least a little bit of time with them understanding what it is they're looking for, maybe made some suggestions back and forth in terms of palette of materials. And then once we have that, if we're dealing with them remotely, we'll assemble this sort of thing and drop this off at the house so that so again, they don't have to come in, and we can still keep the project moving forward. So we've got little cards put together for faucets, toilets, tubs, that kind of thing. That, it's just not practical to put in there. But again, we wanted to brand it and make it feel like we put a little bit of thought into it. And then also offer, you can see this, but just what some of the finish options might be. So a client has a good understanding of that without having to go to Google and search all this stuff out. And, it's just something clients don't do every day. And then we'll follow that up with some actual samples and saying, this is what we suggest perhaps in this situation. So that's kind of it. We might also include, just some brochures or something like that if they're interested in something a little different, because, vendors, suppliers are happy to to pass those sorts of things out. So we might put that in there. We made the box the size that we could fold. Our drawing size is 18 by 24. So we could fold that in 4.25, and it fits in the box too. So we could conceivably even include a full set of construction documents, whatever it might be in there. So again, we can use this for at a contract signing. We put a set of drawings in there, which can be significant. The drawing set can be 10, 15, 20 pages, depending on what the project is. Their contract, any addendums, whatever. It's just a place they could keep all in place rather than it's here, there, and everywhere. We even, as we were putting it together, thinking, okay, you could put that on a bookshelf and make sure that it's got our logo on there so we're front and center all the time. No client's ever going to do it, but you never know, just in case. So, so we're kind of inventing reasons to use the box as we go. And again, right now in this environment, most clients want to come in. But for those that don't, or are traveling or whatever, and sort of in and out, we deal with a lot of State Department or those sorts of people, USAID, whatever, that may be in town and then out of town. And they're hoping to remodel their home because when they come back to live here, often they're living abroad somewhere, they want it done so that they can just move in. So even to use it remotely in that situation has nothing really to do with the pandemic. It's just unique maybe to our geography, the area. We've got a lot of people that travel internationally or even live abroad for significant periods of time and then come back. We see the possibility of a spike in corona cases as the weather gets cooler, and so it'll be handy then. But also as everybody acclimates to using video conferencing and all the rest, I think there's going to be in the future it is really hard in the best of times to get clients, which is also often a couple, and then our team together around a table. It's hard to do in the middle of the day. So you have clients that want to meet later in the day or early in the morning, and that can be a hassle with traffic and all the rest, and to get everybody around the table. So do I see a future use where we're maybe not making final selections, but we're chipping away at, okay, here are the top 3 that I'm interested in. So when I come in, it's only going to take one time and I don't have to visit a couple of times. So I can really see that playing out forever. That's something that I think, and is a real service to clients because they don't have to take as much time to do this. It's sort of delivered to them in a thoughtful way. Again, it's curated down by a designer that's working with them behind the scenes. So when they come in, we can make really good use of their time.